So this is the long-awaited collaboration between Imoristar and myself. We are bringing you Native American trickster myths. These stories are provided courtesy of www.native-languages.org. There will be links down in the description, both to nativelanguages.org and to Imoristar. She is absolutely brilliant at reading, and I am so glad that we got to work together. If you aren't subbed to her yet, I really hope that this convinces you to.
Bojo and the Cranberries. Bojo was walking along one day by the edge of a lake and saw some high bush cranberries lying in the shallow water. He stuck his hand in the water and tried to get them, but he couldn't. He tried over and over again to get those cranberries. Finally, he gave up trying to stick his hand in the water, and instead, he tried to grab them with his mouth by sticking his head in the water. That didn't work either, so he dove down into the water. The water was so shallow that the little rocks in the bottom hurt his face. He jumped out of the water and lay down on his back on the shore holding his face. He opened his eyes, and there were the berries hanging down above him. He had only seen their reflection in the water, but he was so angry that he tore the berries off the tree and didn't eat any and walked away.
Theft of fire. Once, many years ago, Bojo asked his grandmother, Nokomis, why the people had to freeze all winter long in the cold northern weather. He wanted to know if there was not some way in which the people could manage to stay warm and cozy throughout the long winters. Nokomis answered that it was rumored that, in a far-off land, an old man had the gift of fire. However, he was a selfish person, and he refused to give it to anyone else. Instead, he kept it hidden, to be used only by himself and his daughters. Bojo told Nokomis that he wanted to journey to this land in order to get some of this fire from the old man. Nokomis did not want Bojo to travel so far, but she knew that he would go once his mind was set. So she wished him well, and as he set off, Bojo left his camp telling his grandmother to be ready with the kindling when he returned. When Bojo came close to the camp of the old man, he decided to stop and think of a plan for getting inside. He decided to disguise himself as a rabbit, hoping that the man's daughters would feel sorry for him and carry him inside, away from the cold. Bojo's plan worked just as he had expected, and the young daughter, seeing him shivering in the cold, tucked him under her shawl and carried him inside. The old man, however, was very angry about this. He did not allow any strange beings into his lodge, not even a rabbit. Getting drowsy from the fire's warmth, however, the old man fell asleep and didn't think of the rabbit again. The girls put the rabbit, now remember, this was really Bojo, near the fire to warm, and left him so that they could prepare their father's dinner. No sooner had the girls turned their backs than Bojo cut a spark of fire on his back and ran off. When the girls realized that they had been fooled, there was quite a commotion, but by then there was nothing that they could do about it. Bojo ran and ran. As he neared the camp, he called out to Nokomis to have the kindling ready. Of course she did. She took the spark of fire from the rabbit's back and soon had the fire burning in their lodge. By now, Bojo had changed back into himself, and he went outside and called all the people to come and take a spark from the fire. He told them, in that manner, they would be able to keep themselves and their children warm throughout the long, cold winter months.
Fox and Monkey. This legend was translated into English for us by Andrea Lopez Delgado. Kamake Fox and Kisulu Monkey were thieves. One night, they went into a servant's quarter to steal quinoa mush. Monkey used his hands to eat, but Fox stuck his whole head into the pot and got stuck there. "Help! Break this pot off me!" Monkey tried to find a good rock in the dark. He found the servant's head instead. "Here's a round stone. Come and smash the pot on this." "Good!" Fox smashed the pot on the servant's head. The enraged man woke up and grabbed Monkey, but Fox got away in the confusion. The servant put Monkey in a cage. The next day, he told the Lord what happened. "What should we do with this thieving monkey? Pour boiling water on him and skin him alive?" Meanwhile, Fox came by to see what happened to Monkey. "What's going to happen to you in there, brother?" "Oh, I'm in big trouble now," said Monkey. "They're gonna make me get married." What? Get married?" "The Lord has a daughter, and he's going to make me marry her. This is terrible." Fox said, "Don't worry about it. I'll just untie you, and I'll change places with you." "Good." So they changed places. Soon the two men came with boiling water and poured it over Fox. "Stop! Don't do that! I'll marry your daughter!" But they poured until the water was all gone, and Fox was scalded from head to toe. The men left to get the knife to skin him with, but Fox hadn't tied himself up too tight, so he got loose and ran out of the house. He started looking for Monkey to get revenge. Finally, he found him on a hillside. Monkey saw him coming and quickly got underneath a big, slopping stone, pretending to be holding it up. "There you are," said Fox. "Good. Be quiet, brother. If you make me move, I'll drop the stone, and it will kill us both and destroy that village down there. Look, you're stronger than I am. Why don't you hold it up while I go down to the village and look for help?" Fox believed him and pushed the stone, while Rabbit ran away pretending to get help. After a while, Fox got tired of standing there and decided to try jumping away from the rock so it wouldn't fall on him. He jumped as far as he could, but when he looked back, the big rock hadn't moved. This trick will be his last. One night, Fox found Monkey on the riverbank eating cheese. Monkey quickly gave the cheese and said, "Brother, I didn't come back because no one wanted to help." Fox ate the cheese. He was still hungry. "Where did you steal this cheese?" he asked Monkey. "I'll show you if you stop trying to kill me." "Okay," said Fox. Monkey showed him the reflection of the moon in the water. "There's the rest of the cheese, brother." So Fox immediately jumped into the river and drowned.
Rabbit and Big Man-Eater. Big Man-Eater killed all the people of a certain town. Rabbit came and saw what had been done and ran back to the next village. There, he told the people about it and instructed them to all run away from that place. After they had gone, Rabbit reddened his lips with some old paint, killed an orphan child who had remained in the village, and walked along carrying its body over his shoulder until he met Big Man-Eater.
"How are these people down here?"
said Big Man-Eater. "I have killed them all," said Rabbit. "How are the people down here?"
"I have done the same,"
said Big Man-Eater. "This orphan child is all I have left," said Rabbit, giving it to him. Big Man-Eater took the child and threw it up into the air, and when it came down he swallowed it at a gulp. He then said to Rabbit, "Let us become friends," and Rabbit agreed. After they had gone along for a while, they said to each other,
"Let us shut our eyes and defecate."
They did so, and Big Man-Eater passed split human bones, while Rabbit only passed grass. Before they opened their eyes, however, Rabbit changed the places of the two piles of excrement so that the bones were under himself and the grass under Big Man-Eater. When they opened their eyes and Big Man-Eater saw this, he was ashamed. After that, Rabbit said, "Let us go to Ashes Thrown Upon camp." When they got there, Rabbit obtained a lot of bark and made a fire with it. By and by, Big Man-Eater went to sleep, and Rabbit collected a great quantity of ashes and threw it over his chest. He then threw some ashes all over himself as well and quickly lay down. Then Big Man-Eater began to groan and stood up. Rabbit also rubbed the ashes off himself. "It is always that way here," said he, and they lay down again for the rest of the night. The next day Rabbit said, "Let us go to Tree Falling Camp." They went on, reached this place, and made a fire at the foot of a dead tree. Afterward, Rabbit walked off, found a small tree, and brought it back to camp. When it was nearly midnight, Rabbit pushed the big dead tree over upon Man-Eater, and at the same time laid the small tree over himself. Big Man-Eater groaned in his sleep, woke up in a fright, and kicked the tree away. Rabbit also threw the tree off himself, saying, "It is always that way here." When day came, Rabbit said to his companion, "Let us go down to the stream and jump back and forth across it." When they got there, Rabbit jumped first, and he jumped back and forth 4 times. "Now you jump," he said to Big Man-Eater. So Big Man-Eater jumped back and forth 4 times also. "Let us both jump again," said Rabbit, and he went back and forth quickly as before. When he got back the last time, he said to Big Man-Eater, "I will hold your bag while you jump." So Big Man-Eater gave Rabbit his bag and jumped over. When he started back, however, the river was suddenly filled with water into which he fell, and the current carried him down and into the ocean, and way beyond it to the other side. Then Rabbit started off, saying over and over, "My friend threw his bag down to me on the water. Look, my friend has gone to the ocean. I'm calling to him where he has gone, far off on the ocean."
Johanna Me the Glutton wins the eating match. This version of the story was told by Mohican elder Fidelia Fielding to author Frank Speck in 1904. Johanna Me and another man had a dispute. Each said that he could eat more than the other, so soon it was decided to hold a contest. But before the time came, Johanna Me went home and got a large bag. He fastened it under his coat with the opening near his throat so that he could pour food into it. He wanted to deceive them, so he did it well. Now they held a contest. A barrel of soup was brought, and the two began to eat. It was only the other man who ate, because Johanna Me was really stuffing the soup into the bag. But the people did not know that. He was fooling them. Now the other man could eat no more. He had to give up. But Johanna Me laughed and said, "Come on, don't stop. I'm not full yet." All the people laughed, but they did not know why. Soon even Johanna Me stopped. The bag was nearly full. "Now I will show you. Give me that knife," said Johanna Me. "Will you do what I do?" he asked the other man. Then he made ready to stick the knife they gave him into his stomach, but he would only stick it into the bag. The people did not know that. The other man was beaten, but now he said that he would do what Johanna Me did. Then Johanna Me stabbed the bag where his stomach was, and the soup ran out. Everybody thought that he really stabbed himself, but Johanna Me laughed at them all. Then the other man stabbed his stomach, and he died.
Bojo and the Dancing Geese. Bojo often took long journeys. On one of these, he happened to hear singing out on a lake. And when he looked to see who was singing, he thought he saw some people dancing. He went toward them, saying how much he would like to join them. Suddenly, he heard some loud laughter, and when he looked closer, he realized that what he had thought were dancers were really reeds swaying on the breeze. He realized that the money dog had played a trick on him, and he was furious. He went alongside the lake and he began to get hungry. He saw some geese swimming a little offshore and thought to himself, "Now, I would like some of those geese to eat." When Bojo then gathered some balsam boughs and an old dirty blanket he was carrying, and with this on his shoulder, he called to the goslings and offered to teach them some of the songs he was carrying in his bag. They all crowded into shore, and he told them they must dance just like he did, singing the song he would teach them. He sang, "Dance on one leg, oh my little brothers." And as they danced on one leg, they stretched their necks upwards. Then, when Bojo sang, "I dance with my eyes closed, oh my little brothers." And when Bojo danced and stretched, and the goslings did as he did, closing their eyes and stretching themselves. When Bojo then moved among the foolish goslings and began to break their necks. Just then, the loon, who had been dancing with the other birds, opened his eyes and immediately began to cry, "Look out! We are being killed by Bojo!" By this time, Bojo had killed several goslings, but he was so angry with the loon that he kicked him on the small of his back. That is why the loon has that peculiar curve to his back. Bojo decided to cook his goslings there on the shore of the lake, so he buried them in the sand, putting their legs up so he could find them when they were cooked. Then he built a fire over them and lay down to sleep. He told his buttocks to keep watch for him, and if anyone came, to wake him, for he did not want his goslings stolen. While Bojo slept, some people came around a bend in the lake. They saw the goslings' legs sticking up in the air and thought that Bojo had something good to eat. But they saw Bojo stir when his buttocks called out to him, and they ducked behind some bushes to hide. Bojo did not see anything, and he scolded his buttocks for waking him unnecessarily. Again, the people came out, and again, the buttocks woke Bojo. But since Bojo did not see them, he scolded the buttocks once more. The third time, the people crept up silently, took the goslings and put the legs back just as they had found them. The buttocks remained silent because they had received a scolding the first 2 times they had warned Bojo. When Bojo awoke, he was very hungry and started to take out his goslings. But he could find nothing buried in the ashes. He was furious with his buttocks and decided to punish them by standing over the fire until they were scorched. At last, when the buttocks were black and crisp, Bojo tried to walk away. But it was so painful that he could scarcely move. So he sat on the top of a steep cliff and slid down, and the sore skin of his buttocks became the lichen. As he walked along, he dragged his bleeding buttocks behind him through some dense shrubs. When he looked back, the shrubs were red from his blood. "This," said Bojo, "will be what the people will use to mix their tobacco. The red willows." Thank you all for watching. You should all absolutely go and check out nativelanguages.org. That's native-languages.org. There'll be links down in the description. There's also going to be links down in the description to Imoristar's channel. You guys should go check her out. She does scary stories and creepypastas and all kinds of other things, and she is great. Absolutely great. As you heard. I mean, seriously. So, if you haven't already, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Get on board for what we've got going on here. Leave a comment. Let me know how I'm doing. And thank you so much, as always, for watching. And thanks again to nativelanguages.org and to Imoristar. You guys are wonderful. Thank you. Especially you, Imoristar.